attorney.
Okay, welcome to an update video. This is a bit of a longer one, but also a pretty hefty, important one. There are gonna be some changes, as some of you who paused immediately to read can already see a bunch of them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, since I wrote down a bunch of stuff here, I'm just gonna read them straight from there. So, let's get to it. First off, there is going to be a week-long delay to all uploads, so I have time to catch up to on early access recording, since I have been behind on those for way too long. That is very unfortunate. This break will start tomorrow, so Monday's upload will be the last one, and I will explain in a bit when we get to it why, if I remember. It's regarding this part here later down the line. Okay, so that's that. There will be one more Final Fantasy 1 video. I have beaten the game, but there's still a bit more to do that I want to at least experiment with. So that's gonna be the next video, and it's gonna be the last gameplay video. Then the following week there will be a short review of the game, and I mean really short. It's a very short game. It's a very old game. I don't have too much to say about it. We'll see. We'll get to it. Yeah. Then Borderlands will replace Final Fantasy 1. I know. It was supposed to be a Final Fantasy slot, but for those who actually watched the first episode or video or whatever, it is actually a Patreon slot, and the Patreon responsible chose to switch to Borderlands over continuing to the next Final Fantasy. But worry not, if you look at the next point, there all hope is not lost. Yeah, basically first video will of Borderlands will go up the same week as the review of the Final Fantasy 1, so there is no awkward week-long wait with no new gameplay content on that day. Yeah. And basically Final Fantasy will return sooner rather than later, even though the Patreon in question chose to switch to Borderlands. I don't feel too comfortable with leaving or just stopping after one Final Fantasy game. So I am going to take a small break and focus on finishing other games on the channel before continuing to Final Fantasy 2. The current estimation, which is pretty locked in, is that I will finish Beneath the Cherry Blossom Tree and Fate Hollow Ataraxia, and then I will replace those Thursday games with Final Fantasy 2. So, yeah. I am fairly deep into both of the games, but with my recording time increase starting sometime in November, it shouldn't take too long to finish either of those games. I'm guessing that I will finish Beneath the Cherry Blossom 3 before Fate Hollow Ataraxia, but both should be done before the year ends. Yeah. So at the very longest, it's like a 3-month long break. Probably not that long, considering my recording time will increase, or almost triple when we get to November. Okay. Patreon restructuring. Yeah, everything is basically becoming cheaper, and that is the gist of it. 1 week early access, which is currently on the €5 tier, will move to €1 tier. This is, well, due to a couple of reasons, but it's mainly, I think I mentioned it later somewhere, but it's mainly to do with me compacting my schedule. Yeah, mentioned somewhere here. We'll get to it later. yeah, then the 2-week early access will move also down a tier from €10 tier to €5 tier. So basically very pog. And the €10 and €15 tiers will merge together with the €10 price price tag remaining for that tier. And then the highest €25 tier remains unchanged for reasons because it's yeah, it has quite the perks. So yeah, go read it if you want on Patreon. I'm not gonna bother reading it here. Okay, I have been recording a decently short game as a 100 subs special, which we will be hitting very soon. We're currently at 98, and I will release it all in 2 or 3 videos. Like I initially considered, yeah, when we hit that in 2 or 3 videos when we hit that milestone, I initially was like wondering if I should just do it in one video, but no, I put like a 5-hour video together, and that already was like 25 gigabytes. So yeah, I need to split it up. I'm not gonna upload a 100 gigabyte file to YouTube and upload it for like 5 days straight. Not with my upload speed, holy. If you want to know beforehand what game it is going to be, join the Discord to find out. Yeah, it's pretty publicly out there, the info. I will often get ideas and suggestions, corrections, whatever, from there, from Discord. So you could also have a chance to influence things in the future. It's a great place, and despite there being very few people, it's more active than I assumed, so that's fun. Okay. Bigger stuff. Let me take a sip. Let's play amount getting more compact. Yeah. I do not believe that I have bitten more than I can chew, but I will admit that having, 11 games concurrently on the channel is a lot. Basically, it would be better to focus in on a few games at a time rather than cover all the bases. I mean, I still want to leave enough variety, so there will be multiple games on the channel at any given time, but not as much as 11. I am thinking something like 2 to 3 visual novels and 1 to 3 video games, and then 2 or technically 3 basically eternal live service games, those being Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves, and then Genshin Impact is the technically third one. But yeah, I'm caught up on Genshin Impact, so videos will only come for that when there are new big story updates. Those games will constantly get new content, so they are semi-permanent, so Let's Plays of them will be going on until the game servers shut down. I am already committed to a lot of long games, so it might take some time for this to, fully come into effect. But the long and short of it means that once I finish a game franchise that I am committed to fully going through, so excluding Patreon choices, because those are at the whims of the Patreons, it will not, the game franchise what I finish next is not probably gonna get a replacement poll. I'm guessing that the Nier franchise, having only 2 games, I think 2 games, yeah, and Disco Elysium being only a solo game, and Souls having like 5 or 6 games, which is a lot, and they are long games, but there are longer games on my channel. So I think those 3 of the video games are the first ones to end. We are not counting visual novels here, for the reason that visual novels, I want to always have like at least 2 visual novels, maybe 3 going on at the same time, and I currently only have 4, but one of them is very short, so yeah. I'm gonna replace those when I finish them. Yeah. So those 3 Let's Plays, those being Disco Elysium, Nier, and Souls, will probably not be replaced by anything. This also means that there will not be any polls on the Patreon for a decently long time. That is partly why I want to offer something more on the €1 perk there, that being the 1 week early access. Yeah. Currently the perk on the €1 tier there is like get to vote on polls and have a cool role on Discord, so basically nothing. Okay, regarding the Let's Play, if you could say, slots, like I mentioned earlier, I do want variety, so I'm envisioning different roles / lengths for each slot. There will always be a couple visual novel slots and always a couple regular video game slots. So slot 1 would be longer visual novel. I guess Umineko currently holds that. Slot 2 would be shorter visual novel. I guess Fate or Fata Morgana would hold that, or maybe Beneath the Cherry Blossom 3, one of the 3. They are all kind of sharing this slot currently. One long JRPG. And Trails and Final Fantasy are currently overlapping on this, both of them being insanely long, so for the next few years, that's a happy estimate, probably a decade, I will have them both going on, and yeah, that's basically that. This slot is semi-permanently taken. Slot 4 would be shorter games, nice bite-sized experiences with preferably no sequels to play, but also this can work for like medium-sized games too. I'm not too fussed about it, as long as I have at least some constant change. Like, I'm not locked in on the same games for years on end. I get to choose new game, or get to play new games at a decent pace. So basically, my upcoming 100 subs special game is a great example of the type of game that works for this slot perfectly. I will also have 3 Patreon slots, one of which is currently taken by Tiger Frost and his choice of game, Borderlands. If anyone decides to become a highest tier patron, these slots will not replace any existing slots, but will be new temporary slots until said patron's game is done and they are no longer a patron. Go read the highest tier Patreon description if you are interested at all. Okay, this next bit is a bit of a well, yeah, unlucky. Part of why I want to take a week-long break. I recently lost my first ever recording to OBS bullshit, and to make matters worse, my recordings for the next day kept getting interrupted by people, and to top it all off, due to my own, I guess, ignorance or carelessness, I lost the save files on Umineko and Fate. What a week. I guess 5 days, I don't know. It was a pretty short span of time. Yeah, I was basically just cleaning my desktop, and I decided to move my game install folders for those games, Fate and Umineko, from the desktop into my YouTube folder, inside their own respective game folders there, which I think broke the save files. I am no expert in the matter, nor have I investigated this in detail, but I assume what happened is that moving an install folder breaks the path at the top of the, I guess the path, yeah. So the next time you launch the game, it tries to follow that path, but because it's in a different place, it can't find it, and thus the save is either lost, gets rewritten, or is corrupted, ? I don't know if I am able to recover the saves, but since they are visual novels, it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, I can just start over and hold control to skip dialogue until I am where I previously left off, Fate being a bit more complicated because there are choices to do, but still not a big deal compared to normal video games. I think that's going to be faster than spending time to investigate or fix the issue, so I guess I'll cope with that quote-unquote solution for now. But if anyone has any advice for recovering those save files, I am listening, for future's sake. For the matter of OBS bullshit, I am looking to get a second monitor ASAP, so I can constantly check if my recording is still going on. I personally record in MKV and I remux it, the recording into MP4, so I still have the initial recording part saved for the file that was lost, or the one that OBS bullshitted on, and I was able to use it, so all is good on that front. Only had to partly redo that video. While we are on the topic of technical stuff, while we are on the topic of technical stuff, I do have some behind the scenes stuff I want to change to. I think my PC can handle the newest games that get released, so I'm not in a rush to upgrade any PC parts, but I do want new headphones and eventually an even better microphone. My current Yeti X has served me well, but since I use my own voice only, like I don't have a camera, I think it's much more pertinent to have good audio quality, so I should focus on that front. I can cope with a mid keyboard and the cheapest mouse you can find, so no upgrades there needed. Then there is still the issue of PlayStation 5. I currently have 400-ish euros saved for it right now, and I am waiting to see if anything goes on sale during Black Friday or around/after Christmas before committing to buy it. Sales, cheaper, easy. There's also the drama surrounding PS5 Pro, which got recently announced. So I'm not sure if I should go for that instead of the regular PS5, but going for the Pro would up the price by a couple hundred, so yikes. So in short, I guess here's the shopping list for the channel. A second monitor, doesn't need to be a good expensive one, just something cheap so I can check my OBS on it. New microphone, maybe Shure Rode. I've heard those names before, I don't know. New headphones. I do want expensive ones that I can, immerse myself in, but I can settle for basically whatever. I currently have, let me see, HyperX 2, I think. Not sure. Something like that. They cost like 70 euros when I bought them way back when. Then the PS5, when time comes. Probably more storage. That never hurts. And at some point, new PC parts. But the last two are like, I don't need them. At some point, I would like to get new ones when I have enough money. And yeah, all the money from Patreon will get used on channel upgrades. I'm not wasting it on anything else. Okay. Also, first person to solve this riddle gets to choose one game for me to play. There's read eligible games below. There's a rules section below. So comment your answer below on the comment section or on Discord. Tell me. I'll make a pinned comment when it's solved. Yeah, here is the riddle. This thing here. Enjoy. And yeah, here are the rules. Eligible game rules. No franchises, it needs to be a singular game. No multiplayer or live service games, or ones that will take an eternity to play through. And try to keep the length short. There is like no absolute limit, but preferably under 100 hours. Even better if under 50 hours. Yeah. Once again, here is the riddle. Have fun. And nice, we used exactly 69 lines. Goodbye.